I understand how hard it is to be a gay adolescent. And when I was younger, I never searched for support from anyone. And it was such a difficult time to go through in my life. And I just know that if there was someone that I could talk to, if there was anyone that I could have reached out to, I really wish that I would have. Please, I want you all to know, you do not need to be alone. You are not alone in this. This is not your fault that society has failed to protect you. I am living proof that it gets better, and just know that it will get better for you too.
So I grew up in a Catholic military family. I know very much what it's like to grow up with people that you love telling you that everything that you are is wrong.
I'm a straight ally, and I'm proud of it. And I know I have OCD, and it's hard, but you just have to find people that you can trust and that take care of you, and you just have to hold tight to them, because it does get better. It really, really does.
My one thing that I want to say is that it is never hopeless. Things got better as soon as I left high school. I got out of the environment that I was in, and things get way, 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 way better. So absolutely keep strong. There is never, ever a hopeless situation. So.
In high school, I was the target of discrimination and felt alone. Now that I've come to college, I've found friends that support me and accept and love me for who I am.
I went to a high school where I could count the lesbians on one hand, and that's not much of a community, but eventually you're going to get to a place where there are so many people like you, and they're really worth sticking around to meet, so it does get better.
Don't let anyone tell you you're less than, because you aren't. Nobody is really less than. And anyone who says you are is just a coward at admitting who they are. So be proud of who you are and who you will be, and it really does get better.
I know it doesn't seem like it, and I know what it feels like to be sure it's never gonna get better, but it really does. It does. When I was in middle school, if you told me that I was gonna graduate high school and I was gonna go to college, I would have laughed.
So I went to a high school that's really, really small, and I was the only person to come out within the past 8 years, I think. So it was quite a different experience being the only one, and it wasn't actually that bad. But now that I'm at college, I've seen a lot of my other friends actually came out too from high school. So you'll see that it's not everyone who is what you think they are.
You can just stick through it. It's gonna get so much better. Life just is so much better.
And I went to a school that was also small, not quite as small. But there are times when sometimes you feel like you just need to collapse in the middle of a road, in the middle of the night with your friends, and sometimes you just need to, but you need to know that it gets better, and you come to a bigger place. The next place you move, you find somebody else. Sometimes you think you need to find supportive friends, but really your friends end up being more supportive than you think.
Don't kill yourself, because don't you want to live to see what it can be like, when everyone's accepted and we don't have to fight for our rights, we just have them like everyone else. So it gets better.
In middle school, I went through a lot of what LGBTQ students go through. I was called dyke. I was put on the lesbian list that the girls had. And I didn't even realize that I was different back then either. It was sort of news to me when they did that.
I was lucky enough to have a warm and welcoming family that kind of just shrugged their shoulders and said, okay. But it's not always like that, and I do understand that can happen, but realize that every time that you fight something for you believe in and you fight that stereotype, you're making a world that's better, and to where more parents can shrug their shoulders and say, so what?
And it's hard to have rumors out there all the time, which everyone goes through, but when it's something as personal as that and at such a young age, it's a lot to deal with.
And for all of you who feel insecure and don't really know what your true identity is, coming out has helped me extremely in feeling secure and self-confident with who I am today. And having great friends like Steven, who inspired me to come out to my family and let them know who I really am, has helped me significantly.
know who your friends are and to keep them close, and not to stay stuck in that mentality that it's all middle school or high school, because you move on, you grow up, other people grow up, and it gets better.
I had girlfriends all throughout middle school and high school, but I always knew that it didn't really feel right. And I distinctly remember that for at least 5 consecutive birthdays up until 10th grade in high school, every time I made a wish on the cake, it was that I stopped having these other feelings that I was having, because I just wanted to feel like everybody else was feeling.
When I told my sister I was dating a girl, she cried. In public, at the gym, running on the treadmill. And then went home and read my family Bible scriptures about how I was going to hell.
Out to my parents and to my friends, and it just looking back, it's really sad to me that I'm sure there are other people out there who every year think the same thing and just wish they could be like everybody else. So I just want people to know that it gets better.
But it gets better.
Sometimes you might feel alone and hurt and there's nobody else there who can help you. You might hate yourself, you might hate everybody else, but it's okay to feel those things. But just know that people are out there to help you and that it gets better. It gets better.
You have to remember that high school doesn't last forever. Teasing and bullying doesn't last forever. All those murmurs in the hallway about you being weird or crazy or different, they don't last.
When I was in 3rd grade, my brother, who has a mental disability, was bullied so bad that my parents actually had to step in and talk to the principal and do something about it. And it actually became a really big thing. Lawsuits were threatened. And it was really because of nothing other than the fact that my brother looked different than other people.
In high school, I became one of those girls that really everyone hates, because I was constantly in my head thinking, I need to lose 5 pounds, or my thighs are huge. But it was only in my head. Nobody really knew that these things were going on. It was only me who was hearing the self-deprecating, which was almost worse because there was nobody there to deny it, to say that it wasn't true.
That was all kids needed, I guess, to bully him pretty relentlessly. It was really a rough year. And at the time, I really don't know what we all thought about, is this going to be, everything else? Is this going to be the rest of the time that he has in school? Is this going to be the rest of his life? And it didn't work that way.
If you've ever struggled with depression or anxiety, I know what it feels like. And even though it feels like your world is crumbling, it's not. Remember, it's going to get better.
He's got really good friends now, and they treat him with respect, and he's one of the guys, and as much respect as they treat each other with. But it's a really cool thing to see that, and yeah, it really does get better.
But luckily I have some amazing friends who reminded me that even at times when you don't love yourself, there are people who really love you. And I can honestly say that I'm at a point now where I love myself, and it's amazing, and it does get better.